Hey there, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Amber the Jewel, and on this channel, I share my PCOS journey, my fertility journey, and hopefully share some tips and tricks with you along the way. So if that's something that you're interested in, please like and subscribe. I look forward to having you a part of this community. So in my last video, I shared with you guys my Letrozole journey and all the things that had happened with that. I will link that video somewhere in the description so that you guys can check that out. But pretty much I was sharing the entire process from start to finish, what my experience was like going to a fertility clinic and going on a medicated cycle. And I was supposed to come back and share a part 2 with you guys on my Letrozole journey in the second cycle. But then I went ghost. So, I am here today to give you girls an update and share where I've been, what's been happening, and if that is something you're interested in, then keep watching. So I got my Starbucks, I have my notes, and let's get into it, girl. Let's go. Long story short, I did a second cycle of Letrozole at a fertility clinic, and very much like the first cycle, it was unsuccessful and we did not end up pregnant. After that cycle, my husband and I decided that we were going to take a break because it was very emotionally taxing. So that break was supposed to be just a few months just to kind of reset emotionally, and then we were going to get back into it. So I want to share with you guys some of what has been happening, give you some updates as you have been asking. Shout out to y'all in the comments that have been reaching out and saying we want to hear from you, we want to know more. So here is some more, girl. I'm about to give it to you. Long story short, Letrozole Cycle 2 did not work. I got really discouraged after that, and here's why I was discouraged. I was discouraged because I felt like I had done everything right. I had done everything the doctors told me I was supposed to do in order to get pregnant with PCOS. I had lost the weight. I had gotten rid of the diabetes. I had gotten all of my blood work levels in a normal range. I was starting to see my PCOS symptoms go away, namely my period. So if you don't know, I went an entire year with a regular period, which has never happened in the history of me having a period. Um, I had started to notice that the other little things like the hair, the facial hair was growing back slower. My neck was starting to lighten up. All of the things, my mood was significantly better. I had more motivation, more energy. I was just on top of things as far as my PCOS is concerned. So I felt like if I was supposed to get pregnant in any year, it was supposed to be last year. We went to the fertility clinic. We did the medicated cycles. Everything came back normal when I did my diagnostic testing. My fallopian tubes were clear. My uterus looked good. The only thing they found was that my PCOS obviously had caused my ovaries to be enlarged, and I had cysts on my ovaries, which is very common if you have PCOS, by the way. And that's the reason why I was doing medicated cycles. When I did my medicated cycles, I ovulated during those cycles. We did what we were supposed to do as a married couple during those cycles. My husband's semen analysis came back normal. So I was just in full anticipation that I was going to get pregnant last year and I would be a mom this year, but it didn't happen. Um, and that was hard. That was really hard. I felt like I had worked so hard to get to this point and nothing. So what happened next was I went into what I like to call a PCOS slump. I'm trying to think of a better term to call it, but it is literally where you feel like you're in the slump. How I ended up there. So, a little backstory. While we were going through these two medicated cycles, my husband and I had moved in with relatives. So, that added to the stress that we were experiencing. Um, we were living with relatives, and I started to fall off of all of my routines. So, I stopped. The first thing that went was my diet. I stopped dieting the way that I had been. In the past, I was doing, previously, I was doing alternative day fasting, and that was how I lost the bulk of my weight. Um, that had stopped as soon as we got to my relative's house, and I was eating every day pretty much. I still was fasting here and there, but not to the same extreme that I had been before to lose the weight. And then I stopped going to the gym. I initially stopped going because I didn't like the gym that was closest to my relative's house, and I didn't feel like driving halfway across town to go to the gym that I felt comfortable in. Terrible excuse, but that is how it happened. So now I have two things working against me. I'm not eating the way I was, I'm not working out the way I was. And then I started to experience the fatigue, the lack of motivation, the irritable mood, all of the things. So now I'm really not doing any of the things. And then January of 2026 rolls around and my period does not show up. So this is the first time in 12 months that my period does not come. It didn't come for over 60 days. And during that period, I really became aware of what PCOS does to the body because I had this frame of reference of a year of all of my symptoms being in management, and then I get thrown back into all of the severe PCOS symptoms. So I think that I'm going to make a video about that experience. I am in this downward spiral. I am not working out, not eating healthy. I stopped taking my supplements and the metformin and all of the things that were keeping my PCOS in check. Um, and then I just noticed that I was in this slump that I felt like I couldn't get out of. I felt like I was stuck. So I'm here today to give you guys an update. That is what has been happening. But as of recently, I have been on more of an upwards slope, and I have been thinking of ways in which I can get out of this situation, how I can get back on the PCOS hamster wheel, if you will, get back in the game. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about next. So this week I turned 35 and I found myself in a place where I felt almost like I'm having a midlife crisis. I know it's not that. I have a deep yearning to become a mother and it's only intensifying as I get older. And as I approach 35 and I start to think about my life and what I want for the next half of my life, I do want to have children. My husband and I have been married for 3 years. Um, and we want to take that next step in becoming parents. Um, So what I plan to do is really get my health in a place where I am prepared. So over the next few months, and I want to take you along this journey with me, over the next few months, I will be doing all of the things that I did before to get myself back in shape, back to where I need to, and eventually get back to the fertility clinic and get back to trying on this fertility journey. So how I plan to do that, I want to start by working out. I plan on working out at least 3 times a week, mostly cardio to start off. And then eventually I want to get to at least 5 times a week working out. I also want to get back on a consistent diet routine, and I don't want to call it a diet for the sake of a diet, but I do want to change up my eating habits. I want to get rid of the sugar and the carbs, and I want to start back doing more protein and veggies. So that's something that I'm going to incorporate back into my lifestyle. I'm also going to start back taking my supplements. So I will in the future make a video with all of the supplements and things that I take. I'm going to start back with the supplements, taking my metformin, which was also helping to regulate my PCOS symptoms. Um, Lastly, I do plan, well, not lastly, I have two more things. Emotionally, I want to get in therapy. For those of you that don't know, I am a licensed clinical social worker, so I'm a therapist myself, but I do want to get into therapy to start preparing myself mentally and emotionally and really taking care of my mental health. And then I've also been on a financial journey because I do have faith that one day the Lord will bless us with a child. And with that, I want to be prepared financially. So I have been working on saving up in my emergency fund, investing, and all of the things. So those are the things that I'm doing to prepare myself to get back into this fertility journey and to become the mom that I know that I'm destined to be. So let me know in the comments, girl. Have you experienced the PCOS slump? Where are you now? What are you doing? If you are in the fertility process, let me know. And if you're interested in following me along my PCOS journey and hearing the updates, and hopefully I can share some tips and tricks with you along the way, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thanks again for watching. See you later, girl. Bye.